nights. It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's BS3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, and on today's show is going to be pretty much like yesterday's show. Still in a pretty good mood. Didn't feel like doing a whole bunch of research and depressing myself, so I decided I'm just going to show a couple of videos and make some comments about it and keep the party going. Keep in mind, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what happened last night after the show. Pretty interesting situation occurred after the show went off the air between me, Theus, and Tracy. So if somebody can remind me to tell y'all what happened. But without further ado, I will kindly ask you to please hit that like button. It will really help out the channel. So while you're here right now, hit that like right now. Don't do it later. Don't tell yourself you'll do it before you walk out the door. Don't say you'll do it by the end of the show. Hit that like button right now. So without further ado, let's get this party started. All right, let's see who's already in the audience already. Hey, Anna, how are you? Hey, Mickey. Mickey in jail. Facebook jail. Well, thank you all for coming in. We're going to go ahead and get started. We was discussing yesterday about the COVID situation that's going on in America right now. The chances of more coming up, and the more cases are coming up with this new variant that has been discovered. in Africa. So I'm going to show you a video just for a second. I'm going to show you a video of what happened with karma.
You know, every once in a while, I'll have someone say to me, "Why do you push so hard for the vaccine? There are medical professionals who don't want it. Don't you listen to them?" Now, I believe it's 96% of doctors in America have been vaccinated. But, in all fairness, that leaves 4% who have not. And of that 4%, quite a few of them recently attended a anti-vaccine summit in Florida where they talked about alternative treatments to COVID that didn't involve the vaccine. And it was a huge success. And by huge success, I mean that 7 of them got COVID after attending, or more accurately, at the summit. Oh, but wait, that headline is not my favorite part. No, I have been on ivermectin for 16 months. My wife and I, Dr. Bruce Burrows told the audience at the event held at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, I have never felt healthier in my life. The 71-year-old cardiologist and staunch anti-vaccine advocate contracted COVID-19 2 days later. 16 months of ivermectin, and the first time you came in contact with COVID, you got it. Never felt healthier, huh? I feel like every doctor who attended that event, especially the ones who got it, should all be making TikToks to a specific viral audio right now. Oh no! Our table is broken.
Karma is a, you know what? Can we get vaccination to Africa now? The problem that we have, Anna, and now that we have to take the boost, the shot, is, and this is a American thing, is that we don't still have enough people in this country vaccinated. And because we don't have enough people in this country vaccinated, this country is holding on to the vaccine. In other words, their fear, I use that term loosely, is that they don't want to start giving it out to different countries, selling it, giving it away for free, what have you. They don't want to give it out and then they wind up not having enough for this country. The only way to change that is to get a lot more people vaccinated, including the booster shot. Now, because the booster shot is coming on, they don't want to give the vaccine out to other countries. So screw other countries, basically. Yep. Hey, Tracy. Tracy, I didn't play. You asked me about Patreon, and I didn't get to play the Zoom video on there, so I don't know if it plays, but I know it was on there. Yeah. Hey, Tracy. I have no sympathy at all, Anna. I have no sympathy at all. You literally went out of your way to say, "Oh, you don't have to take the vaccine. You can do blah blah X Y Z." And the more people keep saying you don't have to do this, that, and the other, and then they wind up getting sick, and then they wind up going to the hospital. Then they wind up taking up hospital beds. Then they want to go fund me when they're sick and all this other. No, I have no more sympathy at all. At least we know the doctors and his wife don't have worms. We don't know that for sure. And if they do, oh well. My nurse tells me she sees so many vaccines go bad rather than it being. Yeah, that's another issue that we are having, Anna. That is another issue in this country that we do have. Yeah. Nope, they don't deserve it. No, I'm not. Me and Theus and Tracy have said a while back. I can't care for you more than you care for you. And that's what's going on right now. I can't do it no more. I don't want anything to happen to you. Obviously, I just don't want you to die. I don't even want you to get COVID. But at the same time, please understand that I'm just not going to feel sorry for you if you get it and you did nothing to prevent getting it. And hear what I'm saying. You did everything in your power to get it. You can wear a mask and you can take the vaccine and you can still get it. You're going to be minimally sick, at least not to the point where you go to the hospital unless you already had a uh, predetermined condition. And you at least went out of your way to protect yourself and, God forbid, other people. Now, if you get it that time, yeah, I feel for you. I hope the best for you. I hope it's a speedy recovery. But if you don't even want to take the vaccine, you don't want to wear a mask, you don't want to safe distance, you want to go out into a big, huge crowd with a bunch of breathers all in your face, and you get it, and then all of a sudden you want to feel. No, no, I just can't. It's 2 years of this going on three. I just can't no more. I just can't. I just can't. Like I said, I don't want you to have it. I just don't care if you do now. Over 15 million vaccines that have been thrown away. Yeah, and that's the issue. And they're going to continue to be just like that because we just don't have enough people who have taken the vaccine for herd immunity, and they're going to hold on to it for as long as they possibly can. And for the simple fact that the government is paying for it, we can make more and more and more to replace the ones that's spoiled, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm right with you, Mona. Thank you, Anna. I just can't. So the next video, I'm going to show this video because I want to show just how deeply corrupt these corporations are. And we've been saying it for years that they just don't care about you. They care about the bottom line, and they may care about their friends and family, but they don't care about the public. And it's been proven right now exactly um, that they don't care. Oh, one second, got one more, Tracy. They have no faith in vaccines but trust hospitals. Uh, some do, because we have proof of people who've gone to the hospital, Tracy, and still told them how they wanted to be treated. So basically, they go to the hospital and treat them like that it's their own drugstore. They all of a sudden got a PhD in medicine and science, and they're literally telling the hospitals, "No, I still don't want that type of treatment. I want this type of treatment." It's crap out there. But anyway, here's how corporations, once again, just really don't care about the little man. They care about their bottom line, and they don't care who they hurt in the process.
So the Biden administration just passed a new bill saying that any of those shipping containers stuck in the ports are going to receive a $100 a day tax per shipping container. And it's the damnedest thing. These companies figured out how to start moving those fucking shipping containers really quickly. It's almost like these companies were manufacturing a problem so they could have a short supply to drive up demand and prices. But we know that couldn't be right? I mean, capitalism always works for the people. You know, capitalism's the perfect system that always benefits the end user, right?
So, in other words, these tyrants, trolls, the evil empire, if you have it, that situation we have off the coast of California. And I did have to wonder because they kept saying they have not moved. The ships out at sea and just sitting there, the containers at the docks is just sitting there and they don't know what's going on. And I do remember that Biden did send out sent out word for somebody to go to the docks and find out what the heck is going on. Why is it not moving? And they never said the reason why it wasn't moving. Now I could have put two and two together if I really wanted to. I didn't really put enough research in it. I was under the assumption, like some of the situations that we was going on, the first, I want to say the first drop of COVID related incidents, and we was having issues with getting gas to certain places, and those idiots that was going out putting gas in plastic bags. I'm not gonna go there with them, America. Whew, Lord. Anyway, one of the reasons why we was having issues with gas getting to certain places is because the during the pandemic, first the first pandemic. Well, I mean the first pandemic. The first issues during pandemic, and we started lowering, people started going blah blah blah. Anyway, the point I was making is a lot of the truck drivers, um, who was their normal job was driving gas around and everything. Well, gas dried up. We was all at home. Nobody was driving around anymore. Uh, so wanting gas was at its lowest. Thus, we don't need as many truck drivers. And a lot of the gasoline truck drivers either retired early or they went and found another job. So when the demand for gas went back up, there was nobody to drive. I, like an idiot, assumed that was the reason why we couldn't get these containers moving across the United States for the same reason. We just didn't have the personnel to do it. I say just like an idiot because I really just keep trying to think of the best of this country. Every single solitary time that I do, they show me right how they are. Every single time. These guys literally would sit there and watch their products sit out in the middle of the sea or sit at the docks and just watch it sit there, knowing that the demand for these products is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And because the demand goes up, supply and demand, that means they can start charging as much as they want to. Under a certain extent, obviously, but that certain extent, I guarantee you, was the creme de la creme of the price point they're going to ask for. They're not going to do it average. They're going to ask for the maximum they can possibly get. During a pandemic, right before the holidays, these are some evil individuals. These are some real bad individuals. I keep telling myself that I shouldn't be surprised. Capitalism is all about money, making money, but I'm still surprised when humanity. I and like I said, I try to think, oh my goodness, we really need to start getting some truck drivers, some workers out there, and everything else. Even when I try to say workers out there, I kept thinking, but boy, dock workers make some good money. You can't find dock workers in California. Dock workers make some real good money. So I was like, what is going on? I was like, maybe it's the trucks. And we can't get the trucks to go out there. No, just good old fashioned capitalism at its finest. Good old US of A, try to get as much as they can for the least amount of work that they can do. We said the same. Yeah, I I tried, but once again, like an idiot, tried to use logic in an illogical place, and it bit me in my butt in a way every single time. I couldn't figure it out. And greedy capitalism just didn't happen to be one of the things that popped in my head. And now I have learned a hard lesson that it literally should be the first thing that pops in my head. Lesson learned. There was a time that price gouging was illegal during an emergency. That was before big corporations finished their takeover of our government. They will do it for gas, but the deal is you have to be turned in. The good old days, the government was able to monitor gas stations and everything else to figure out, hey, dude, you're gouging gas. There is I just heard today from the damage report. Check them out too. They're real good. The damage report where Trump did an interview where he said that gas prices was $7.50 in California, and I called it and everything else, and just last year was $1.25, but that's the way it is. And of course, everybody was like, "Dude, gas prices ain't about." No, there actually is a gas station in Bumfuck, California. I can't remember the city right now, where their gas prices is $7.95. How they getting away with it? Who's gonna turn them in? Because if that's the only gas station in this little town, or the next gas station is miles away and you don't have any gas, you're kind of gonna keep your mouth shut. You kind of just gonna bite the bullet and do what you gotta do. So was he partially right? If you want to take one out of the millions of gas stations in California, knock yourself out, Trump. Yeah, sure. It's everywhere, $7.50. Oh, by the way, the $1.25 that he was talking about last year, yeah, that was right before the pandemic hit and everybody started shutting down. So of course the gas was $1.25 last year. And who was in charge last year? Oh yeah, that was you. Overthrow capitalism. I agree. Nothing I can add to that. Totally agree. So, I have this title is, oh yeah, I remember what this is. The Cal Rittenhouse situation, the case, the Cal Rittenhouse case, where there were certain people who was yelling racism. In a sense, it was. It had some racism to it. They well protected this dude because it just shows that you can go anywhere, do anything. In other words, it's the equivalent of what I've always said was, do you know how much they hate community? Do you know how much the white supremacy hate community? They would turn on their own selves just because you support the black community. And it was the same thing. And it's the same thing with this video. Cal Rittenhouse is, everybody was a Cal Rittenhouse fan, and he's free, and he's safe, and he did the right thing, and it's not his fault, and everything else, and free Rittenhouse, and all this other stuff. Until he says the wrong, well, he says a thing. I ain't gonna say the wrong thing. He says a thing. Like clockwork, they turn on him.
So for all the people commenting on my Kyle Rittenhouse video saying it's not racist, he's not racist, we're not racist, I have some news for you. Tucker Carlson paid Kyle Rittenhouse a fuck ton of money to go and do an interview with him in which he said, I support the BLM movement. Conservative Twitter lost their collective fucking minds. Never trust a non-white, this one says. It's pretty simple. They will never side with you. Your skin is your uniform. This one says, well, it was fun while it lasted. Not a Kyle fan anymore. Really? Kyle, don't do this. They're not gonna forgive you. They're not gonna stop hating you. Support for Kyle Rittenhouse from the right was always about being anti-black. Here is the proof of that, because the second he pretended to step out of their narrative, the entire right wing turned on him. And watch, because all of the internships that these right wing politicians were offering him are magically going to dry up. Because it's always been about white supremacy. The entire time. And here you go. Here's your proof.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that this was all about the support, the non-support of the black community. Protest was on the black social issues. He can go in there, shoot up people. He did nothing wrong. So to sit there and say it's not a racist issue is sort of like, okay, where did this all happen at? This ain't happened at a random picnic. This happened at a black social protest. And as soon as he says, I support BLM, like clockwork, they flipped on him. I don't know why he didn't see that coming. And quite honestly, I don't even see why he would care. It ain't like he doesn't have the money now. We need to organize a general strike. It'll be hard, but worth it. Yeah, I agree. Party with the Proud Boys and flashing the white supremacist sign doesn't make him a racist. Going to BLM protest with an AR, being against the movement, doesn't make him. It was 100% right. Rittenhouse, by and large, went with the stronger hand. And the stronger hand was white supremacists at that time. You got to remember something about Rittenhouse. As much as we like to make him out to be a grown man with experience and everything, he's a kid. He's a 17-year-old kid with 17-year-old peer pressure of which you would have when you're a teenager. So when you do something like that and you're scared out of your mind and white supremacists were the people that came to your aid, you're going to go with the hot head. You're going to go with the white supremacists. Do he believe in everything that he was doing? I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't even care. It's not going to change anything. But he went with the hot hand. These people were the ones who support me. These are the ones who got me a lot of money. These are the ones that got me out of jail. These are the ones that's protecting me right now. Yeah, I'm going to go with the hot hand, duh. Sitting in the car watching a black man ride on CBS saying he wish he had an AK so he can fucking shoot all of them does not make it. We all know. This is my sister-in-law, Tanya. This is crazy. They used the LOL. I feel no pity. I don't feel no pity. Tanya, I don't feel any pity for them. I ain't feeling any pity for them. They're monsters who actually took advantage of a 17-year-old kid who had no business doing what he was doing. At all. He had no business being over there. He had no business having a gun. He had no business shooting people. It's the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. The same thing we going over and over and over again. And now you realize you're going to have to grow up real fast because your hot hand flipped on you. And chances are the only reason he probably doing it is because the civil court cases are going to start coming down. So you're going to try to pad yourself with, oh, I was really in support of the BLM. So much in support that the first thing I grabbed to have my mama drive me across state lines was my AR. Whatever, dude. But here's the deal. Here's the question. Here's the question that I asked you. Was it fully Kyle Rittenhouse issue? Or was it a culture issue?
There's something interesting during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, not on the case itself, but on the background of who Kyle Rittenhouse is. Kyle Rittenhouse comes from a broken home. His father wasn't really present in the household. He and his mother regularly required housing assistance, food stamps, and assistance from the government. And like many young white men from fatherless households, he got involved in violence. He got a gun illegally, and he went and killed 2 people. What we have here is a problem with white culture. When are we going to have a discussion about the scourge of white on white crime? We can't allow these white thugs to get out on our streets at night, armed and dangerous. People like him, they don't have jobs, they don't go to college, they just populate our prison system. This isn't a gun problem, this is a cultural problem. See what I did there? You see it? I bet you did.
I'm just gonna let that speak for itself. Sound familiar? Does it really sound familiar? He didn't go across state lines with the gun, but that's a minor point of truth. Explain that to me, Anna. Because I thought that was the whole situation that he went across state line with his AR-57. But anyway, so yeah, all that guy said, we done heard about it in the black community many times before. That it's a culture issue. And when they come out with always saying it's a culture issue, that's their little roundabout way of saying there's nothing you can do about it. That's just the way they are. You can't throw money at the situation. You can't throw education at the situation. You can't throw programs at the situation. It's not going to change absolutely nothing. It is what it is, and they're going to grow up to be who they are because of their fatherless, and they always need assistance. They always want a handout, and blah blah blah, and everything else. Until you realize that when you look at the Cal Rittenhouse situation, it was the exact same thing. And I love the idea of where people always want to be concerned about the black on black crime. They always like to throw that out. And I obviously somebody said that on a TikTok video. Why are y'all never talking about the black on black crimes? And I test them and go, why are you so concerned about the black on black crimes? What are you doing about the black on black crimes? I didn't hear anything back, of course. I was just asking a question. I don't think I was being mean. I was just asking a question. But whatever. Let me see. His friend gave him the gun in Wisconsin. There was no going across the state lines with a gun. And that's right. The gun was at the home of the friend who bought it for. Oh, okay. So so he went across state. He did go across state line with the gun. He went to across state line and got the gun, the AK. The friend is facing the gun charges. Oh, poor baby. Okay, never learn. Cool. Okay. So we're still back to the original thing that he had no business being there. And then that your mother drove you across state line. Okay. I'll change how I say it. Your mother drove you across state lines to get a gun to go into a protest to wash buildings or whatever you said you was over there to do. You said several things, Kyle. I mean, you're gonna wash graffiti off buildings. You have some medical training. You a lifeguard. I have no idea where that one came from or what that was supposed to prove, but okay. Where is the DOJ? Tracy, we talked about this yesterday, but I know you're going to keep saying that. Can the DOJ press federal charges? Yes, the DOJ can press federal charges. Is it going to do any good? Absolutely not. You're going to pretty much just make Cal a martyr. That's it. That's just that's it. It is the work. The most we're gonna get from this is that they're picking all. Funny thing about it is now all of a sudden Kyle Rittenhouse is going to be a child because that's how the headlines is. The D is now going after a small child after being found not guilty in the state and everything. No, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. Medical training equals putting on a bandage. I don't know what he threw so much stuff out there, and it doesn't matter. The judge was going to sit there and wink twice if it was a good idea, wink double time if it was a bad idea. So it doesn't matter. He had medical. The funny thing about that one, Anna, is that came out in court. The original thing was he was going over there to clean up the graffiti, because remember we all kept saying, so why would you go into another city to clean another building that has nothing to do with you? I remember saying that. But the whole medical thing, and he was going over there for sort of glad that crap is over with. But either way, I remember that story too. But yeah, no cleaning equipment whatsoever. Y'all seen the videos. I ain't seen no rags. I didn't see no soapy water in a bucket or anything else. All I saw him was dressing up like G.I. Joe with a rifle. But you went over there to clean buildings. But then again, I'm using logic. God forbid. We're going to take a short break. We got 5 more videos to go, so stay tuned. Oh, hit that like button.
Feelings, it's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh.
welcome back to the second half of tonight's show. Um, got a good comment from Chris B. First of all, Chris B, welcome. If you're new here, I appreciate you coming. Um, thank you. Chris B said they've always exploited for their own interest, and now they don't need him anymore. He never recovered millions from Linwood, and now he's vengeful. They won the case, and it sets precedents to their advantage. That's what you do to teenagers. He was a kid. He's a kid. And these people will take advantage of you for their own agenda. Exactly what Crispy said. Yeah, they took advantage of him, and they purposely did that. And now that the whole situation is over, we don't need you anymore. And that's why I said he's sort of still in bed with the bag. I don't care what he said about he support BLM. Whatever, dude. You show nothing that says that you support BLM. But the simple fact that you support BLM while being on Tucker Carlson's TV show. Because if anything, Tucker Carlson, I don't even feel like being sarcastic with that. You got used, kid. You got used and you got away with it. And we're done with it. This next video is on a whole is heartbreaking. It really is. On a whole is heartbreaking. But at the same time, and funny thing about it is I can't even say it's the state of affairs as of right here and now. It's just the state of affairs, period.
So y'all know me, I don't usually post serious stuff, right? I like to keep it light, but this broke my heart. The other night, I was at the gas station. It was like 11 o'clock at night. There's this little old black man in front of me in line, hunched over, gray hair. Must have been late 70s, early 80s, real old. Anyways, all he had was a 2-liter Dr. Pepper. He checks out, I check out, I go outside, get in my truck. I'm leaving the parking lot, and as I get to the exit, I notice that he's walking. And I know that road. There's nothing down that road for a good way. So I rolled down my window. I was like, "Hey, sir." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Where you headed?" He was like, "Home." And I was like, "How far is it?" He was like, "It's like 1.5 miles." And I was like, "I'd be more than happy to give you a ride. It's late." And he looked at me and he was like, "Man, I don't know who you are." He's like, "You could dump my body anywhere." He's like, "I think I'd rather take my chances walking that 1.5 miles." And that broke my heart. How sad. How sad is it that that's where we've gotten to as a nation?
I will push back on one thing that he said is how sad that we've gotten to this point as a nation. If you're looking at a 70, 80-year-old man, he's been feeling like that for a minute, for a long, long time. This is not recent events that all of a sudden made him not want to get in a car with you. This is a lifestyle. Because, yeah, we live in a country where unless you are a white female or a white male that goes missing, they break your neck. Or rich, and that goes across the board, black, white, whatever. If you're rich, 1%, or just well-to-do, or you're a white female, or you're a well-known white male, and you go missing, oh well, they're not gonna search for you. I mean, you're not gonna get any coverage. And I don't want any backlash for it because again, anything that I've said has been proven that you have to be a certain class or a certain color to get treatment like that. And mind you, I know what I said, certain class and or a certain color, because if you're a poor white person, They ain't looking for you either. It is what it is. That black man, it is not the state of affairs now. That right there, for that 70, 80-year-old man, that was a lifestyle. That is the way it is. That is how he was brought up in this country. That you would rather take a chance walking. It is what it is in this country. And as sad and disheartening as it is, and the fact that we spent so much time. Remember Jean Benet? Remember when she went missing? Rich family, the little girl went missing and everything. Even I was still young at that time, and even then I could not figure out. Well, this is a real tragedy. I really hope that they find her, but what makes her disappearance more important than any disappearance that's been going on in this country for years? Kids go missing damn near every day. Older people go missing damn near every day. Younger people go missing damn near every day. Why was this made so special? Race and class. Rich, white, little girl went missing. We need to get this on every news outlet we could possibly get our hands on. We need to get the word out. You think you're getting that if you're a black person in this country? No. You think you're getting this if you're a poor person in this country? No. You go get this if you're an older poor person in this country? No. Native American? No. Not at all. They would spend more time trying to explain to you that the minorities in this country disappearing is a norm. That eventually they'll show up. Or they'll turn around and tell you that, we're a little too busy to look for you anywhere. We got more pressing things to take care of, and we're not going to spend our time looking for XYZ. That old man have lived this for 9 decades. I mean, 80. If he's 80 years old, 8 decades of this knowledge. That if he walks home, he has a better chance in his mind of getting home safely than jumping in a vehicle with a white military man, knowing that if something happened to him, nobody's searching for him. Native American girls and women are kidnapped, raped, murdered at a far greater percentage than any other ethnicity. The cases are rarely investigated. How many times have we seen that in the news? None. That's my point, Nikki. That is my point. That is exactly my point. You're not going to see it. Were the Native American women that was kidnapped, raped, or murdered, were they rich? Were they popular? Then no, it's not going to be in the news. Half the time, it's not even in your local news. And even if it is in your local news, it's what? A 2-minute blip between weather and sports? You haven't been to Lily White meeting, does not? Of course not. No, they don't. They don't. It's not news at this point in time. That I can say the state of affairs of it is. It's about clicks. Poor people going missing is not clicks. Native Americans is not clicks. African Americans is not clicks. Latinos are not clicks. It's not moving the needle. If it's not moving the needle, they're not going to make money. If they're not going to make money, what's the point? That is the state of affairs in America today. That is right there. Okay, so another state of affairs is preachers who have lost their ever loving mind.
Well, this month, the Real Faith, we're asking the question, would Jesus support critical theory? No, he wouldn't. He would not be one of the woke. He would not be the one who was breaking everything that God was seeking to build.
I just want to stop for a moment and acknowledge the quiet part out loud that just happened. What is God wanting to build that critical race theory wants to undo? Go ahead.
You're probably being brainwashed at school. They're probably telling you that gender, sex, marriage, your school might be a lot more like a cult than you think.
And there's a lot to unpack there. Trying to figure out where to start. I guess this is as good a place as any. Watching somebody who almost certainly subscribes to the theory of original sin try to tear down critical race theory, well, that's a special kind of precious. Is it a rule that you must use the term woke? Is that in the rule book now? Imagine somebody who made their dollars from the megachurch environment complaining about brainwashing. Just imagine that. But let's get to the crux of the matter. You're really going to come here on TikTok and pretend like you weren't sued for misappropriating $30 million worth of tithes. Really? My guy, you are not going to enjoy it here. You should move along now.
The strongest thing that has been going on in right wing for the longest time is sheer hypocrisy is ravaging on the right side of politics. It is totally amazing to watch how you can do just about everything that A, you blame everybody else for doing, and B, never happened to left. Or C, even if you did do it, you hope everybody forgot about it, or now we need to forgive and forget and turn the other cheek and blah blah blah. Remember when you go on Facebook, and this is for people who don't go to jail like Mickey. So for everybody else other than Mickey who goes to Facebook jail like every other weekend, I'm talking about everybody else who doesn't go to jail like Mickey. Yeah, I blew you up, Mickey. When they have the memory thing, memories from last year, the year before, blah blah blah, everything that you do that you said on this day years ago in the past. And I came across mine, and I remember writing this last year, I think. It must have been last year. It was literally last year because it had to be after the election. And it was late in November when I wrote this, because I guess at that point in time it was, okay, folks, Biden won. We can stop trying to, stop trying to say that he didn't. He did. He won. Let's move on with our lives. I remember a lot of people at that time coming out and going, okay, well, now we need to come together as a country. We need to come together as a nation, and we need to forgive, and we need to move on. And I remember exactly why I wrote what I wrote, and that was, it is amazing how we need to come together as a country, consider that you never said that for the last 4 years. But now that your man is not in office, now we need to play kumbaya. Now we need to forgive and forget, turn the other cheek, what have you. Now we need to look the other way, and it wasn't that big of an issue and everything else. And obviously it didn't work, so that's why there's a lot of pushback on it still to this day. But that's what it was. Yeah, we did a whole bunch of stuff to minority those last 4 years, and we had a ball. What? We don't have that power anymore? We need to come together as a nation now, and we need to forgive and forgive. Y'all are a special kind of special. I ain't forgiving or forgetting. I'm not going out of the way to make your life miserable. I'm going out of my way to make everybody's life equal, which is why I'm raising my voice the way it is. If you benefit from it, great, whatever. But I'm never forgiving and I'm never forgetting. And you can pull that little old rabbit out of your hat. Well, God says to forgive, and the forgiveness is more for you than for the person that you forgive. Yeah, you knock yourself out with that logic. That ain't me. Like I said, I'm not going out of my way to hurt you because that's not the kind of person that I am. I'm just going to go and I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to raise my voice. And I hope that with enough voices out there, with enough information out there, that we can all raise as a nation. And unfortunately, I would look at it that if your little racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic self benefits from that, sure. Why not? But if you think I'm going to forget all that you did the 4 years that Trump was in office because now you're afraid of the backlash, no, that ain't me, buddy. That ain't a lot of people. So this dummy doesn't know Jesus is brown skin. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And even if he did, and that's a funny thing, Tracy, what I said about the hypocrisy and stuff like that. Even if he did know, do you think he's going to say something about it? The first thing that came out of his mouth is critical race theory. Excuse me. They want so bad to get rid of critical race theories in elementary and junior high and high schools that's never been taught in elementary, junior high, and high schools. And he knows that. So does he know that Jesus was brown skinned? Of course he does. Do you think he's going to tell it about it? Absolutely not. For what? You got your white Jesus up there with the blue eyes for decades on end, for centuries on end. You think you're going to sit there and go, we need to take critical race theory and this woke nation and everything else. Oh, by the way, Jesus was brown skinned. Doesn't go together. I'll call him convenient Christian. Dispute a part of the Bible that condemns their ideologically and ignore the part that condemns their actions. Way to put it, Mickey. Yeah. Way to put it. They have a way of having selective memory when it comes to the Bible, and they hate to be challenged. They really do. They love to say homosexuality is an abomination which wasn't written in the original Bible, by the way. They love to spew that. Homosexuality is an abomination. So is wearing different fabric. So is sowing different seeds, sowing different crops beside each other. So is lying. So is sleeping with thy neighbor. So is adultery. Their logic is there are certain sins that's bigger than other sins. I can honestly tell you that I really think that murder is a bigger sin than stealing. I wholeheartedly believe that. But you really think you going to get me to believe that homosexuality is a bigger sin than anything? When homosexuality isn't none of your damn business? Just like abortion laws is none of your damn business? Same-sex marriage is none of your damn business. And it never will. You have to go out of your way to get into the middle of those topics that I just said. You have to find your way to dig deep. Same-sex marriage was the one that kind of killed me. I couldn't get in a million years how same-sex marriage was anybody's business other than the people involved in it. At all. Same-sex couples who can't adopt kids because they're of the same sex. So you would rather them not have parents at all. And that's the Christian way of life. You know how do you know how hard it is to dig your nose into other people's business that way? Just so you can feel holier than thou, knowing that you're not, but you have enough people with low education who believe that you're the best thing since sliced bread. So you're going to keep saying the same, spew the same crap over and over and over again, simply because you're getting paid for it. Special kind of special. I love to remind them that Jesus was brown-skinned Jew, a leftist radical who gave food stamps to the hungry and M4 aids to the sick, and told the wealthy to give all their wealth away. You can remind them, they're going to forget every single solitary word you just said. They'll stop talking to you because they don't have an answer back to them. I love the fact that these mega churches that makes millions of dollars a year and pays no taxes on it and always want to explain to you what Jesus will do, without telling you the time when Jesus went into a mega church and flipped the freaking table over for selling merchandise in God's house. That's in the Bible too, but selective memory and all. So either way, we're going to end on some brighter notes. I am going to move this up real quick. I personally have not heard this happening. Apparently it is. I haven't seen it. If it is happening, like the South says, God bless your heart. Bless your little heart, because I'll just show you the video.
You can't make this shit up. A moron walked into my barbershop this morning, and because I'm all tatted up, he decided to show me his new tattoo, and it says 1776. And I looked at it and I kind of just went, oh, okay, why did you get that? He goes, because I want some certain people to know that we're ready for a civil war. I looked at him and I kind of laughed and I said, how is 1776 going to let people know that you're ready for a civil war? And he goes, because that was the last civil war. Listen, so let me get this straight. You got 1776 tattooed on you so black and brown people know that you're ready for the next civil war. Except that the last civil war was 1861. Not 1776. 1776 is when America got its independence, not the Civil War. Starting to make sense why all these morons are running around going 1776.
I just can't with these people anymore. I just I can't. I can't. You can't argue that. You can't argue with these people if you're. I literally want to go. Who the hell thought that the Civil War was fought in 1776? Who in America, even if you didn't go to the best school in the world, who thought 1776 had anything to do with the Civil War? Yeah, y'all got to talk for a while. My head hurt. My mother called Jesus the OG. The way he looked, yeah. I know that was about the video, huh? Laughing my ass off. Child, the right needs serious intervention. The right needs education. You put a tattoo on your body that says 1776 because apparently that was supposed to scare black and brown people to believe that you're ready for a civil war. In my defense, I would say you're not sending your best. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Do I think everybody needs to have the creme de la creme and that there are certain things that the school system should have taught you, but they don't because of budgeting and everything else? I get that. There are certain things that you cannot have me believe that you don't know about. 1776 independence. If you want to go deeper, it was 1777, but go for 1776 or 1778. Whatever, we like to skew the numbers. But at the very least, we knew it was around there. Wait a minute, Nikki says important. To put a final point on it, in 1776 is when the war ended. We didn't officially become independent nation until 1783. And that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say, Nikki, that even when we were coming up, we knew 1776 was independence. Independence Day, even though we keep saying was the 4th of July, it really, again, that's deeper education. Put that all aside. At the very least, we knew it was 1776. At the very least, we knew George Washington was the first president. If you knew 1776, watch my hand now because I'm trying to make a point here. If you knew 1776 if you can put together that George Washington was president around that time, then you also could ask yourself, but who was president during the Civil War? Abraham Lincoln. So if Abraham Lincoln was the president during the Civil War, however you want to begin, the beginning, the end, the middle, whatever, he was the president. I I I I can't. I can't do that. Sorry for me using logic. I can't. That's what I do. I use logic. So I use logic. Sorry. Stupid run rampant among the right because they don't want balanced education, let alone a quality education. Yeah, we are still fighting in the 1780s. I know. I know. Oh my God, Lambert, you explained it like you're talking to a 6-year-old. Oh, I don't know what other. I honestly don't want any. I don't know any other way to explain this. There are logical ways to understand history, even if you're not a historian, even if you don't have a doctor in history. It's logic. It's just it's logic. Even if you kind of knew who the president was in 1776 and who the president, don't even use the year. Don't even use the year of Civil War. Just know who was the president in 1776. And if it comes up Abraham Lincoln, then I can tell you, no, Lincoln was not president. Lincoln was not the first president. Who was the first president? Who was president during the Civil War? You have to use the logic, because if you're telling me that the last Civil War was 1776, then you also can't tell me that Abraham Lincoln was the first president of the United States. See how this don't fit? Just give up all of I know. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done. We're gonna end off on we're gonna end off on good nature. We're gonna end off on something sweet. Something sweet, but it does make you think, especially mental illness that's rampant in this country now. That there are still good people out there.
My daughter was the one with the little pom-poms on her head that came up and hugged you. I just wanted to say thank you because she's really been struggling with depression. And you called me day today, so thank you.
She gave a really tight hug and she said I needed this. I didn't know.
Yeah, thank you so much. It made a whole difference to her today.
Have a hug? For sure, bro. What's going on? I missed my aunt. He died half a year ago, but it's still hard. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Who are you missing this holiday season?
My cousin.
Where's your cousin?
He sadly passed from an overdose.
So sorry, I didn't...
It's okay.
Just random acts of kindness. No money involved, no fame and glory, no newscast out there. Just random acts. What's a hug? 1, 2 seconds? Some should be a minute. I'm too logical. That's why the books. No, you in Facebook jail because you talk smack to these people. I'm so logical. I'm barely on Facebook. Me too, honestly. That go. You. Don't try to blame it on the onions. Don't try to blame it on the onions. I'm not crying. Okay. I did the first time I saw it. We talked about this last night that the reason everybody keeps constantly saying world in this country is worse than it's ever been before. And I constantly keep saying that it's not worse than it was before. It's just that we get the worst information a lot quicker than we was when we was growing up. And I gave the example of if you used to go to, if there was a house party and you didn't go and there was a fight at the house party, when did you find out about the fight? You found out the next day at school. Now you go to a house party, there's a fight that breaks out at the house party, you find out instantly because somebody is videotaping it and showing it live. So no, I don't think the world is worse. So this country is worse than it's ever been. This country has been the way it's been for a while now. You're just finding the information out quicker. This stuff right here needs to be just as quick. These situations of hugging, excuse me, hugging strangers, not for fame, not for money, not for likes, not for clicks, not for tweets, just because you want to. Because you never know what that hug can do for somebody, even for that one day. I've said this for the longest time. It only takes one event to change the rest of your life. It only takes one event, good or bad, to change the rest of your life. That hug that guy gave them people could have been the one event. Because you don't know if one of them people that he hugged and talked to could have stopped the suicide. You don't know. And you will never know. But I guarantee you, none of those people are getting a hug from him and then feel like they're just miserable now. You had a girl go up to him and tell them that their cousin overdosed. They're not going to be there this holiday. She opened up to a complete stranger from a hug. Not nosy people on Facebook that just wants to use it as a punchline. From a hug. We need more people like that. And less people that gets the likes and the tweets and all this other stuff because it's glorified. Violence is glorified. Being an asshole is more glorified than anything else. Being an asshole is more being life than anything else. Being an a-hole is more seen as being realistic than any acts of kindness that's going on. You try to change society for the better is seen as a pipe dream. You're dreaming it. It's never going to happen, so on and so forth. Being an a-hole, treating people like crap, family, friends, strangers, whatever, that's seen as being more realistic than being kind and being gentle and being considerate. You need to, anybody other than the mafia who happens to see this video, you need to change that. For real, for real. I'm leaking, I don't cry, just consistently leak. That's the worst lie I've ever heard in my life, Anna. That was terrible. That was awful. Do better, Anna. It's also because thanks to Trump giving permission for haters to crawl out of their slimy caves and spew. It's always been there. It just was more covert. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Trump gave permission to hate who you hate, and there's nothing wrong with it. I need daily doses of humanity. You need to get off Facebook, man. I remember so many times I've literally sat there and everybody wants peace, love, and all this other stuff, and then you post fights. I don't get the concept. I mean, it's the same thing when you sit there and give us BS for 4 years with Trump, and then turn around and you're not having any power, and now you want peace and love. We wanted peace and love for the last 4 years too. We didn't get it. Now I'm leaking too. I started with the old black man who was afraid of the yeah. There's no lie I leak. Really? Your eyes just sporadically just leak for no apparent reason whatsoever? Well, I won't call you a lie. I was just, I'm not calling you a lie. I was just joking with you, but I mean, and I have heard of that before, obviously, but I'm just saying it's just a big coincidence that I showed that video and you posted, I'm not crying. Could be a coincidence. We'll leave it at coincidence, Anna. We'll leave it at coincidence. Well, just I'll leave when I'm not emotional. My eyes just, like I remember people. I knew several people who, phew, no, that was emotional. There you go. Anna, I hesitate to use the terminology leak because I am an old lady. Mickey, what took you so long? When I read the word leak, I'm like, where's Mickey? Where is Mickey? Because that's right up Mickey's alley. Right there. That right there was just a how you say in baseball, that was just a lob. That was a slam dunk. That was a layup. That's right up Mickey's alley. So final video of the night, and also an announcement of what happened last night between me and Tracy and Theus. So final video tonight, and all I can say is this is my wife too.
Hey, baby girl.
Yes, baby?
Hey, can I see your phone?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to look through your phone, and search everything.
Why would I care? I'm your wife. You're my husband. You trust me. I trust you. You trust me, right?
I do.
Okay, ain't nothing to hide.
All right, let me pull up this Amazon Prime account then.
My what?
Your Amazon Prime account?
See how that trust just went out that window real quickly? You know, you all of a sudden you look at that Amazon account and you pass out because you got the Holy Ghost. I have no idea what that means. Tracy. I had you speechless for a few seconds. I was behaving because the subject was serious. Had to let loose eventually. You gotta let loose. I saw you coming, Mickey. If you weren't gonna say it at that time, eventually it was gonna come. You can't help it. Look. I'm not older than you. You're older than me, but I'm at a certain age where I'm just not gonna change how I am anymore. It is what it is. Mickey, you are who you are. Leak was not going to pass by you. It is now in your DNA that you're going to say something. And Tracy last night with the nightstand and the carpet. Watch the show from last night. You understand what I'm saying? Your wife looks so young. My wife? Or his wife? Must be his wife. All right. So let me tell y'all what happened last night. So normally when we get off, when we end the show, good night everybody, everything else, we normally we stay on for a few minutes and we talk, and it's usually a business thing. Hey, when is your next show? When is that next show? Blah blah blah. Okay, I'll try to be there for this. I'll try to be there for that. No, I can't make it. The usual stuff. And when we got off the show last night, we said we did just that. And then we started talking again. Then we started getting back into political and social issues and everything else. Long story short, we wind up staying off the air. Had to be another hour, 10 minutes, hour, 20 minutes. Now, I'm going to tell you what I told them was I was so mad because I said, I wish I would have pushed the record button. This would have made a great after party, after hours show. Because I mean, we was rolling. Tracy going off on Thea's going off on me, I'm going off on Tracy and Thea's. We going back and forth and everything. And I'm not talking about fighting. I'm talking about it was great debates across the board, and it took up another hour, hour and a half. So I have an announcement. And no, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be every week or so on and so forth. But I will say this: Tracy has a Tracy Carson Media has a Patreon page. Go check out. Go support her. I think I'm going to next year. I'm going to have a Patreon page. And yes, it would help for the support, and yes, it would help for getting better equipment and better things like that to make this show run a little better. But it also would help with when me and Diaz and Tracy cut loose and you can see what it looks like behind the scenes. It was fun. I had a ball. And we're gonna start doing some after parties videos and post it on Patreon. And of course, sorry, it's gonna be behind a whatever you call it. You have to pay for it to see it. But it's gonna be it will definitely be worth it. It definitely will be worth it. That was the most engagement that we ever had in a long time. And me and Thea's consider Tracy a sister now. That's our sister. Thea's is my brother. I hope I'm Thea's brother. He never said it, but I'm saying it. Thea's is my brother. We're one family now. So we're gonna start doing some after party videos and put it on Patreon so you can see what a family looks like when we're fighting. Whatever the subject is. We didn't have a subject last night when we was talking. We was just really talking and going at it toe for toe. It really was it was fun. Are you insinuating that I am a wise ass? Hell, is that what I do? Hell, it's what I do best. Yeah. Yes. Mickey. Yes. Yes. Sorry, but I'm almost at the age 41 next week where I already don't care what other thing. Wait till you get older, Anna. It gets worse. It gets a whole lot worse. It really do. Okay, so what happened? Oh, okay, yeah. Life. They my siblings. They get on my nerves, but yeah. And last night we really Thea's got on her nerves more than I did. It really did. Um, than I did. But yeah, there was some nerves that was being shook. I do what, Anna? Paywall. Thank you, paywall. But it was. I had fun. Tracy, if you still on here, how did you feel about the situation? Because I mean, I literally had a ball doing that after party. Um, it was hilarious. It really was. We oh my goodness, and we talked about every freaking thing under the sun, and it's not like. And I can tell you what the difference is, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way because I really appreciate the mafia. I really do. I don't ever want to change that. You are the bloodline to this page, and the more that we grow, the better it will be. But as of right here and right now, Anna and Tracy and Susan and anybody that I'm forgetting, do you know? But you know when I say the main event mafia was the people who started on this show at the very beginning, at its infancy. So we get 1,000 people watching the show or hundreds of people watching the show and everything else, you know in your heart of hearts that you were the beginning. You was the creme de la creme that started this all off. You literally could have a way of going, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what Marlon said. And you can literally look at him go, I've been on this show from the very beginning. I know exactly what Marlon was saying. I know exactly what Marlon means. So no, you can't come and tell me what Marlon was trying to say or what Tracy was trying to say or what Theus was trying to say. And I'm just saying that for example because I've seen it happen. Oh no, that's not what he was saying. He was saying this, and we had some pushback like, Dude, you just got here last week. I've been here from the very beginning. I know exactly what Marlon is saying because I know exactly how Marlon acts. I know exactly what Marlon means. No, Tracy said what she said. She didn't pull any punches. She didn't mean to say anything. She said what she said. No, Theus wasn't trying to say something. Theus wasn't trying to say anything. Theus doesn't try to say anything. He says it. Well, you don't know what you talked about. Again, I was here from the very beginning. You have that privilege of saying stuff like that to other people because you was here at the very beginning. Now we're just going to go a step further. Basically, we're just going to go a step further, and you're going to get a behind the scenes look of what it is when we don't have to stop for a second and read the comments. And that's why I said I'm not trying to mess that up. You're the backbone of this show. But you're going to see what it looks like when we don't have to stop and read comments or get things like that because we're going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it took a while. It was fun. Ella, that's why I don't do GA. I'm 73. I do support you. I remember that, Emma. And thank you. They ganged up on me. Just kidding. We disagreed, but never yelled. No, that's the funny thing about disagreeing with people. You don't have to yell and you don't have to insult. Surprise, surprise. I love that you call us the mafia since I'm the first gen Italian. That's racist. Remember, I remember the whole mafia. The minute that you're an Italian, you're a mafia or you're an olive oil, and it's disgusting. And I'm messing with you, Mickey. I know. I'm just messing with you. And I know you meant what you meant. And you are mafia. Don't pick on my cup. I can't find my cup right now. This is my wife's cup. So yeah, starting next year, we will start doing a after hours Patreon, and I'll keep it relatively low until we start getting more people in here. It's not going to be no $20. I ran across one that was $25 a month. Wow. I'm not into anything that you're saying that I'm going to raise it to $25 a month. And I don't know the price points yet, but it ain't going to be $25 a month. Believe me, it ain't going to be $25 a month. What subjects did you talk about? Can you give us a couple of examples? We were still talking about, and we still have this argument with Tracy of where she wants certain people out of government on the Democratic side. And we keep saying over and over and over again. That's why I said Tracy is my sister, because Tracy just acts like a sister who, okay, how many I told you this is not a good idea, you gonna keep doing it because you are who you are. We kept saying that you can't just up and replace somebody without having a plan. Is what we was trying to explain was stop saying I want to replace Jeb Clyburn, which was the main person that we was talking about. I want to replace Jeb Clyburn. Who you want to replace him with? Well, we need to look it up. No, you don't need to look it up. You need to have a plan together to replace Jeb Clyburn. In other words, that's how you literally start off the thing. I want to replace Jeb Clyburn. And here's the plan to replace Jeb Clyburn. Or Christian Cinema, or Joe Manchin, or whoever you want. We talked about the Progressive Party and how their marketing sucks rocks when it comes to their policies and procedures that they want the whole country to have, where 67% of the country agree with them, but you're not as loud as the other side who's constantly calling you names and calling you crap and calling your policies crap, even though they don't have any policies of their own, because you want to play fair, you want to play nice, you want to play sweet. That's why your messaging sucks. That's why it's not getting out, because the other side, who they know that if you get your policies through and it helps America, it stops their bottom line from growing. And they're not going to let their bottom line stop growing. So they're going to be louder than you. So your little nice little tweets and little memes and everything else, and going on YouTube live and showing how this guy, look at him, that's funny, whatever. What I got to do with policy? You spent more time trying to pick on the opposition than actually making noise about your policies and procedure that's going to help all of America, while your opposition is literally telling you, no, it's not going to help all America. It's only going to help them Negroes. And we wouldn't want that now, would we? It was subjects like that. And we just, hour and a half of that stuff. PSA this Thursday starts our after party. Y'all write that date down. This Thursday, after party. So, just to give y'all a heads up on what is in next year. Got plenty of time to look at it. Sound like it really was, Anna. It really was a great conversation. It really was. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is my show for tonight. As you can see scrolling below, to please hit that like button on the way out the door. It will really help this channel out. If you are new here and you did enjoy the content that I had today, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to try to grow. As a matter of fact, that was one of the other things that I wanted to say, that my goal for next year, by the middle of next year, I want to grow this channel to over 1,000 people. Is it lofty? Yeah. But go big or go home. I have no idea what the hell that means, but go big. And that's my big dream, is that by the middle of next year, so by summer of next year, I want to have at least 1,000 people. So please share this video with other people. Don't just sit on it. Don't just hit the subscribe button and then, hey, I got something to do Saturday and Sunday. I can listen to Marlon and Tracy and Theus and everything else. Share it to other people who may enjoy this content too. They may like it. They may not. No harm, no foul. But if you share it to other people, you get the word out of, hey, look at these people and tell me what you think. Maybe you would like what I say. We only put out 2 shows a week, so it's a lofty goal, but we're going to shoot for it. Tracy, you need to start the action. I've been nagging it just as damn once a week to find a progressive primary Schumer. More than just Schumer. Okay, everyone have a wonderful Sunday. And with that, I'll see you when I see you. Peace. Oops. Okay, now peace.